Last session, we focused on Shay, Gemma, and Jack in the aftermath of the mystery of the Hanging Garden. The girls learned more about the hermit in the woods, Artie Pemberton, and now have a trio of dinosaur eggs spirited away in Shay's attic. The boys do not know
what could go wrong.
Missed a few things.
I sure did. Wow.
Yeah, so none of the boys know about this, that the girls have these. So that is a secret. Shh, don't tell yourself, Mike.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Shay's dad took a cryptic phone call from a mysterious man checking in on Shay's schoolwork and truancy problems. And Gemma finally got a recording of the voices in the basement of the library and got a little history of Willard Carpenter and the Underground Railroad from the head librarian, and cleverly passed on Artie's scientific ramblings to him in the process. Jack visited with Meemaw in the evening, but come morning discovered that she had taken a bad fall and ended up in the hospital, leaving Jack to care for the ratty old poodle while she recovers. Billy Joe, you probably had spent a good portion of the evening, or this would be Sunday during the day, with Jack at the hospital with Meemaw. Fortunately, she came out of it with basically just a bruise on the side of her face because she hit the countertop on the way down. And they're saying right now that she is suffering from anemia. But other than that, she seems to be okay, but they're going to keep her in the hospital for a couple of days just for observation because of her advanced age.
Okay.
So the family at this point would have kind of convened and taken you guys back home. This is your dad's mom, and she, Andy, kind of made the decision that she lives on the same property as you guys. That it's the old family house where her and Grandpa used to live, and she's living there alone with Clyde, the angry poodle. But since it was Jack that discovered her, she asked Jack to look after the dog while she was gone, and so by the time you guys end up getting home, Jack kind of splits to go back to Meemaw's house, take care of the dog, which kind of leaves you to your own devices. Ladies, we kind of left off with you guys. I know that Shay had picked up one of the eggs and was looking at it with a light, behind it, and you certainly did find that there is, some sort of creature inside. Seems to be a lizard of some sort. And Gemma, I think you had said that you were going to try to go downstairs and kind of look around again. Was that right? For the potential tunnel system that Carpenter had maybe installed down there?
Right.
Okay. All right. I probably am gonna pick up there because that seems to be the most prudent thing. Most of what Jack and Billy Joe would have done would have been taken care of while you were in the process of doing that. And then your mom was coming to pick you up around noon, and that's when you will be spotting the red balloons. So you've got a little bit of time to kind of do a little bit of searching down in the basement. So if you want, why don't you go ahead and make a mind investigate roll. So you got 3 successes. That's crazy. Okay.
So I pulled the flashlight out of the janitor's closet,
Mm-hmm.
and I headed downstairs.
Okay. So for 3 successes on an investigate roll, that gives you the ability to ask one additional question and take +1 die to one roll when you use that information. So you have a total of 3 questions that you may ask the game master should you like.
Okay.
And I
So
have
if
to
there's
answer
no one
honestly
there-
to the best of my ability.
Oh, so I get to ask you. It's not that I get to ask the scene. So it's like there's nobody down there to ask.
No, you ask me, and I will answer your questions to the best of my ability.
All right. Is the basement haunted? Okay, no. So am I able to? I'd love to be able to find my way into a tunnel.
Mhm. You have been in this basement countless times, and you've probably done a little bit of searching around here and there, just because you've been hearing these voices. But now with the ammunition of actually having a recording of it, that's really fueled probably a little bit more of a fire in you, to where you're going to maybe try to dig a little bit deeper. Now, I will say in your past investigations that you've done down here, it hasn't been very deep. You haven't really, dug in and tried to, tear into stuff or look behind certain things maybe that you shouldn't and so forth. But in your cursory investigation of the place, there was nothing that led you to believe that there was like a tunnel or a secret passage or anything like that down here that was easily accessible. Okay. So that's a freebie, that's a gimme. That's basically what what you already know before you begin this investigation. So you've got 3, knowing that, you've got 3 questions now that you can ask.
Well, I'm probably feeling a little bit energized by all of the information that Mr. Snyder gave me. And I know now that there's a history of Willard being a part of the Underground Railroad system, or at least Willard was a part of that system. So I have maybe a little more will, and also witnessing the boys and their wanton path of destruction in the forest. Like, they didn't get caught. Like, people just do stuff and they don't get caught. So I might be a little more willing to take some risks and move some things that I wasn't supposed to move.
Okay.
Look for
So,
maybe a door and passage.
Let me kind of describe the basement as best I can. When you come in the front door, there's these gorgeous wooden steps that lead up, both up and down, just immediately as you walk through. And it's a little bit of a tile floor there in the opening, but then a hardwood floor that is very loud and creaky as you go up or down the steps. Going down, the basement, just as you get off of the stairs to your right, is the children's section of the library. Whoever it was that thought it was a great idea to put the children's section of the library in the creepiest part of the building should have their head examined, because really the whole area really does give off a very creepy vibe, especially with some of the little storybook cutout characters that they have placed here and there, and when the lights aren't on, those things really do look like little ghosts and goblins that are just kind of peeking their head around the little corners of the bookshelves and so forth. The room that is in has library shelves that just kind of domino down either side, and has a central alleyway that goes all the way to the back, where there's a librarian's desk back there. There is a door in the back of that area that is normally always locked. And to be honest, you're not really certain that you ever remember seeing it open. As you come down the steps and go into the children's room, there is a hallway that juts towards the back of the building. And underneath the stairs, you've got that little nook that you've kind of set aside for yourself that very few people actually know about, if anyone. And then you have the custodian's closet, which is just off to the right down that hallway. Further down, there's more storage areas down here where they keep a lot of the records for ancestry and old city records and stuff like that. And these are basically just shelving units in each of these rooms. And there are 3 of these rooms, one for like the ancestry type stuff. The other one is for city records, and the other one is just a general storage place for older books and stuff that just is not in rotation. So those rooms are fairly sizable, but they're very compact because they're just very tightly packed, just enough for one person to go down an aisle and kind of search for stuff. And there's probably about 4 aisles in each one of those rooms.
I wanna geographically, it kind of feels like the door at the far end is probably not where the sounds are coming from.
Definitely not, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely opposite of where that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to take a moment and think about some questions and write them down, I can move on to one of the other ones, and then we can kind of catch back up.
Yeah, I do want to think about it.
Okay, sure. So, Billy Joe, after you guys get home from the hospital, is there anything that you particularly want to do?
Well, I think if Jack's taking care of the dog that I didn't like anyway, I'll probably maybe feel a little overwhelmed with all the stuff that's going on, and I'll probably just try to go to the barn and tinker.
And I will say that Jack probably would have filled you in, on what happened out in the woods at Engelbrecht. Because you're probably pissed that you didn't get to go because you were really wanting to go back. Your dad had you out in the barn working on the tractor pretty much all day. It was just a big mess. And you didn't get to get out at all on a Saturday, much less go and have this adventure with these guys. The last thing you saw were velociraptors and a guy with a shotgun chasing you through the woods, and you really wanted to kind of follow up. So these guys were the ones that actually did it. But what he does tell you is that in the process of all of that, the girls took some records from the house. The guy was dying and died while they were there because he had been attacked apparently a second time by the velociraptors, but he was able to actually trap them in the barn. And
this is the guy that was shooting at us.
Yeah, or the guy that was wielding the shotgun. He didn't actually take a shot at you, but yeah, that he was chasing you off of his property for sure. He was able to get him in the barn, and after he died, the boys and the girls had a very lengthy discussion about what to do, number one, with his personal property, and number two, the creatures that were trapped in the barn. The boys made the decision to burn the barn with the creatures inside. And in the following conversation after all of that happened, your brother had told the girls that, well, my brother would have agreed because he would have said, when there's an animal that's sick on the farm, you got to put it down. So he believes that you would be on his side.
Okay.
No pressure.
I don't know that I agree with that. but he made that decision for me as if I were there, right?
Well, but you were not there, so
Okay.
so you had no say in the matter whatsoever. So if that's something that is a craw in your side, that's something that we can certainly work with. And he talks to you about how the girls were pissed, that he and Corey made that decision, and that he needs you to back him up on it, basically.
He wouldn't give me the keys to the clunker so I could move it closer in case they had to run and make a quick getaway. He wouldn't even give me the freaking key to the clunker.
Oh.
I just want to put that out there.
Just for the record.
Now that may be something that Billy Joe might agree with Jack on, but we'll see.
I work really hard on that car.
That's right.
I don't really like other people driving. I'm not even supposed to be driving. But yeah. I don't think I would have done that. I mean, they weren't sick, right? They weren't hurt. They were just.
They weren't sick. They were angry, but they were not sick.
And I mean, the animals on the farm, when you have to put them down, you gotta do it in a humane way. Like shoot them in the head or something. But yeah, that's not right.
Burning them alive is not humane.
Not that I've seen. But
and this conversation could be what leads Jack to just, as soon as he gets home, he goes straight to Meemaw's, and like you guys probably had an argument about it, and he's like, well,
we're just giving each other space.
Yeah.
I think. I found this dirt bike, like old wrecked dirt bike in the woods, and so I've got that in the barn, and I'll kind of tinker with that a little bit. But I kind of just don't feel like being at home with between the stuff with Jack and my grandma getting hurt and all the commotion at the hospital and stuff. I kind of just want to get out of town. I think maybe I'll just like head to the grotto and hang out, see if anybody's there.
Okay.
Take some snacks.
Let's do a tinker roll for the work you do on the bike.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, did you say it was like a little motorbike or?
Yeah, it's like just like an old dirt bike, like a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, 2 successes there. So let's look on our little chart here and see what that does for you.
Hoping for a 2-wheeled clunker. Or something else that rhymes with clunker. that means like a motorcycle, but I haven't figured that out yet.
Let's see here. So one extra success. So you get 2 bonuses on this. You can make it durable, which adds a +1 to the bonus. It can do more than expected, which would add a +1 to the bonus. The thing is more discreet than expected, which also adds a +1 to the bonus. So basically there's 2 little advantages that can kind of come out of you working on this particular item.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a possibility, we live in a world where there's a lot of advanced mechanics that are available, and some of it is just kind of strewn about, and for folks like yourself to just salvage and try to turn it into something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that you could maybe attach some sort of fancy equipment that you found out in the woods or by the road or something like that might have belonged to DARPA or a DART or something like that was just a castaway thing, fell off of a truck or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make something of this dirt bike, you certainly can. What's your Iconic item.
The Swiss Army knife.
Okay, Swiss Army knife. Okay. So there are times, and this is for everybody, there are times in the story where things can easily change. And in an instance like this, if you decide that you really want to do something special with this bike and it feels like it's something that you are going to use quite a bit and you want to make it your iconic item, you can state that this is my new iconic item if you want to do that. If not, it is just a regular item that gives you a bonus when you use it, but it's not an iconic item. An iconic item gives you a +2 to any roll that you make where it is utilized. But this particular item, the best you can do is going to give you a +1 for this one.
Okay.
Okay. Having said that, I want to jump real quick back to Christy, just so you know as well. I kind of looked at your character sheet, and your problem was nobody believes me that I'm hearing these voices in the basement of Willard Library, right? You kind of have resolved that problem because at least now, I think Shay at least, is listening to you about it, and now you have proof, which you have played for an adult who has heard it and has given you some advice on it. So people are now actually, kind of at least paying attention to you and believing you in that respect. So technically that problem can be wiped away. But you need to then think about what new problem takes its place. Okay. So anyway, coming back to Billy Joe, what makes this motorbike special for you then?
Well, I was, and I again, I don't know if this is something that is possible in this world, but I think, when he found it, it just kind of seemed like an old, like, dirt bike chassis and motor that didn't have any wheels, and he just kind of thought the wheels were missing, and that's why it got thrown away or whatever. I wonder if it couldn't be some sort of like hover bike, actually, and he like figures that like there's nowhere to put wheels. Wait a minute, this is something else, and if that's the unexpected part of it, not that it can like fly at altitude or anything, but it's kind of like the little speeder bikes in Star Wars.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think that's perfectly acceptable, because there is what's called magnetrine technology, and those are those big ships and so forth that you see, and the buses that take you to school utilize that technology as well. Yeah,
so like a magnetrine bike.
Right. And where what we know as Whirlpool, the factory, the old factory of Whirlpool, is in this reality Thunderbolt Industries, and they are the makers of magnetrine ships and magnetrine vehicles. So that very easily could have been something that they had made at some point, and someone owned it, and you have now revitalized it and brought it back to where it was. So yeah, that's definitely not a problem at all. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you can add that to your equipment. I think you've got an equipment thing there somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, items. Just hit the plus sign, and you can put hover bike in there if you like.
Okay.
And then that gives you a +1.
There we go.
Okay. And then that probably takes you a good portion of the day to get that thing up and running. But then you said you were maybe going to go to the grotto then after, correct?
Yeah, just to get away from the house so I don't get roped into any more chores.
Sure. Okay. Shay, what are you doing?
Is this still Sunday?
Still Sunday, yeah.
All right. And Father's gone away. Yeah. Where's he at?
I think he's still there at home at this point, but probably in his office working on grading papers. Probably he's probably a bit of a procrastinator when it comes to that, and when it's the weekend, he kind of takes his Saturday and spends it working in the yard, or tinkering a little bit in the garage or in the library reading or what have you. And he just kind of waits until the last minute on Sunday to kind of take care of the stuff that he needs to take care of for school.
Okay. All right. So I think I've decided that the eggs probably need to come out of the attic. And so I'm going to creep up there, chunk the ladder, and climb up there and put them in a backpack with like towels that I've got. And then I'm going to head back. I'm going to head to the grotto. But before I do that, I'm going to knock on Dad's office door.
Okay. Yeah. What's up?
And so I'm just I don't come in, but I think I'm just going to kind of peek in. Hey, Dad, I'm going to head out to hang out with some friends.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just working on grading papers. I'll probably be in here for a couple hours anyway. You think you'll be home for dinner?
Maybe. I might head over to Gemma's for dinner tonight, but don't.
She's a nice girl. She seems really sweet.
She's really smart.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see you hanging out with somebody like that.
She's cool. I'm gonna go.
Okay, just be home by like no later than 8 o'clock. It's a school night. Okay.
All right. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Is everything okay? Are you sick or anything?
Am I sick? No, I'm fine. What makes you say that?
Oh, I don't. It just worried me because of, Mom got sick right away and it came out of nowhere, so I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I'm fine, sweetie. Don't worry about me. You're doing okay, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, I'm okay. I don't want you to worry about me. If anything's wrong, I'll let you know, okay?
All right. Bye, Dad.
All right. Be careful.
I will. I'm gonna skateboard over there to the grotto, down to the grotto.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
So, Gemma, coming back to you. You got some questions for me now?
Yes, I want to know if I can find a way into the sub-basement, or if there's a door, like a panel, a secret passageway.
Okay. All right. You have been up and down this hallway probably 30, 40 times, probably in the time that you've been working here. And there's a metal grate on the floor that every time you step on it, it goes ting, and you've never really thought about it up until now because of what Jim said, about the tunnels, right? So as you're looking and going down the hallway, you hit that metal plate once again, tang, and you hear like an echo, and you're like, wait, okay, there's something more to this than what I initially thought. But it is literally just a metal plate in the floor that looks like it's got like a little frame around it, and it's got a little decorative look to it, just some old kind of Victorian era, stampings and stuff like that on there. Nothing that looks like it necessarily means anything, but just, some kind of Art Deco-y kind of patterns.
So can I find somewhere in some architectural drawings or some blueprints that would show this Digico and sewer lines and, underground passageways mapped out?
Yeah, that would actually be fairly easy to do here. And again, in the basement area with all of the city records and stuff that they have on file down there, you should be able to find that. And looking through that paperwork, you do see from the early 1900s, when they were really working on what was the beginnings of the kind of sewer and waste management network, you see plans of the area that Willard Library is in. And I think I'm probably going to have you maybe make a, what kind of roll are we looking at here? Probably mind comprehend. Mm-hmm. Two successes. Okay. And for comprehend, that extra success should probably give you something there as well. Get additional information on that. Okay, so I'll try to give you as much as I can on this. With that, it's really difficult to read because it's really an architectural engineer that had really put this together. But you're able to kind of calculate like the depth of where the sewer system is and so forth. And it looks like in one particular area, especially the area that goes underneath what would now be the Lloyd Expressway, it would have been Division Street at that time, okay, which is right next to Willard Library. They diverted an area of the sewer system kind of oddly at its depth, and it went down to a deeper level than most of the other areas, stretching anywhere from First Avenue all the way out to like St. Joe, which is about a 1 mile stretch. This particular area went a little bit deeper by about 10 feet than any of the others in that area. And it just, there's a certain grid pattern that seems logical when you look at it, but this particular diversion juts at a odd angle compared to the other ones. And yeah, I think that's the best we can do, since mostly I'm making this up as we go. So
yeah. Okay. It's very interesting. I mean, I know that story about the time traveler who ends up in this place where all of those people live underground. Kind of a spoiler, but I'm wondering if there's a whole entire city of people speaking Russian under Evansville. So I would like to figure out one more thing about the recording. Is there a way that I can find out some resources about getting it translated? Are there some language lab sections in the library or connections to translators who might have worked for the library and working on their documents or something like that?
Okay, give me 1 second. Well, I was really hoping that would pop right up. I had to search for something earlier this week, and I stumbled across something that a friend of mine was in, just completely random, not at all connected with what I was actually looking up. And I was like, oh my God, that's so-and-so, and he's Russian. And it was him at his church and speaking in Russian. So I was trying to find the name of that church, but it wasn't coming up immediately because I looked it up on my phone, and I'm trying to find it here on the computer. So, but anyway, there is a local church that you're able to pinpoint there at, just going through some of the records there at the library. That is a Russian Orthodox church where almost everybody there, well, everybody there still speaks in their mother tongue. Many of them still speak English and speak it fairly well, but you've got the address to that church, and perhaps you might be able to find somebody there that might be willing to translate that for you.
Okay, that's definitely on my plan. Before I go, I'm certainly going to test all of those possible passageways. I mean, I'll try that door, even though it seems like it's probably going to be locked. And I'll shake the grate, see if it's loose at all. Maybe I'll play the recording back into the tunnel at super high volume to see if I can get somebody to respond, or I'll tap out a little bit. There's nobody around. It's Sunday, so
just Jim. He's upstairs still.
Yeah, so I'll see if any of my little minor experiments yield anything.
I think messing with the grate. I'm probably gonna have to have you roll something for that. And I think it's probably going to have to be...
Or is it tinker? Or force?
One of those two, yes. I think it's going to have to be tinker.
Okay.
All right, that's a fail there. You mess around with it a little bit, try to see if you can figure out a way to open it up, and it just does not seem to have a give. But you're really certain that underneath that there is it's I wouldn't say cavernous, but there's definitely an echo. There is something underneath here that is an open area.
Yeah, this might not be the doorway, the pathway in, but it is evidence that there is something down there.
Now, there are screws, in the framework of that of that little metal plate, but logically, even if you were to unscrew that, your calculations are is all that's going to do is just loosen the frame up, and then I'm going to probably still not be able to open this.
So using the diagrams that I have of the city, is it possible to tell whether we could tunnel from the grotto and somehow get over toward the library, or at least into the system?
With a jackhammer, probably. And a lot of time.
Yeah.
Logistically, okay, what potentially you could do now, your area of the grotto there is now defunct. It is no longer an area that outputs into the river, so it has been sealed off to prevent anything from coming through there, which is why you guys have been able to utilize it. Otherwise you'd be blown out of there once every rainfall.
Yeah,
Is it possible that, you know, there would be a way to reopen something like that? It's possible.
Yeah, there's probably tech around that we could use if we wanted to do that, but I was wondering too if there was maybe something less like a sewer and more like a subway system that would have been planned and you know, the building had begun, but then we got the magnetrine, the right language, then we got the magnetrine technology and instead went with above ground transport. So maybe there's an abandoned underground system.
Okay. So here's the last thing I'm giving you. Okay. One of the other things that round about the same time that Willard Library was being built, there was another thing that was under construction that basically got shit canned right around this time. And that was, I'm going to forget the name of it. I'm going to probably have to look this up, but it was the Erie something canal. They were building a canal that basically stretched, was supposed to stretch from, I think, New Orleans all the way up to Chicago. And Evansville was the corridor for a main part of this section that went from the Ohio River up to Chicago. And I think they got as far as Indianapolis with that section of it. But due to a cholera outbreak and state funding falling through, they ended up closing all of that down. But that would have been roughly around about the same time. Now, a lot of that was covered over during that time period and in all of the years since, where there's really almost nothing left of that canal except for a stretch that is in Wesselman Park that is basically a dried up creek bed at this point.
It's a shame that things didn't shake out differently, because I think at that very time there was someone out west working on cholera research.
There was.
And it's a shame he wasn't able to make more progress, or we could have had that canal.
That's a good callback there, Christy. For those of you watching, just tune into our first campaign. What do we call it?
Great American Novel.
Yeah, in the Great American Novel. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So, your mom at this point is probably outside waiting for you. That's when you come out. You see the red balloons off in the distance, and it was kind of coming, the best you could tell, from the downtown area, which is just on the other side of the newly constructed Lloyd Expressway. So you feel like you're a lot closer to, you know, the launching point of wherever these red balloons are coming from.
Wow. Okay, so maybe I'll ask her if we can go by Licks.
Yeah, there's a Licks downtown. Mm-hmm.
Down there, and see if I can figure out where they might have been launched from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is going to be difficult because of where you ended up seeing them. You saw them definitely floating. So, I mean, they could have really come from anywhere, but they were about 50 yards up above the passover of the expressway there.
Are these like kids' balloons or like hot air balloons?
Yeah, kids' balloons. And it was something that her and her dad would do when she was little, is release those balloons. It was something they always did on Easter, but it kind of just became a thing of their love for the balloons and for all things airy and all of that sort of stuff. So everyone, any chance they would get, they would release balloons, and red was her dad's favorite color.
know, we used to tie messages on them sometimes and see if anybody would write back. Do I see any messages tied to the balloons, or is it just balloon? Is there a string on them?
Yeah, they're all strings. Yeah. And yeah, I would say it looks like they might have something tied to the end of them. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I don't think I'm going to tell my mom about it, but I am hanging out the window. I'm very curious. I'm like a dog, like leaning out the window.
And in the direction you're going to get to Licks is the opposite direction from where the wind is blowing, and they're blowing away from you.
Ah! Okay. But I'm going to still get some of those little ice cream bonbons.
Oh yeah, the choco creams. What do you want to do after Licks? Or do you want to have a little scene with Mom?
Either one. I don't know if Mom wants to have a scene with me. I don't have any pressing business aside from thinking through, you know, I'm sure I checked out some of the materials and looked into this. Like, I want to probably figure out some time to get to that church. And maybe Sunday is the right day. I'm not sure what the Russian Orthodox worship practice.
Yeah, Sunday's probably a good day to catch somebody there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be my next plan, is to, see what Mom had in mind and then get myself over there and try to make the contact.
She is coming from what's the name of the little Japanese restaurant that she's working at?
Is it Ten Man?
Yeah, Tinman. Yeah. She's coming from there and is basically coming to pick you up to drop you off. She's got about an hour in between there and the Tennessean.
Right.
So, does she know that you kind of hang out downtown?
Yeah.
She says she really, unfortunately, doesn't have time, to run you all the way out to the east side where this church is. But she can either take you home, or if you want to hang out downtown, she can catch up with you after the afternoon rush after church.
Okay. I'll have her drop me downtown because I have a bus pass. I can do that, and maybe I'll go to the grotto first. I can spread out the materials. I can listen to the tape again and see if there's any part of it that jumps out that I think sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So essentially that puts everybody now heading to the grotto. So you guys can kind of gather there and discuss things amongst yourselves and share what you want to share and hide what you want to hide. So from the sound of it, I'm going to probably play it where Billy Joe probably arrives first.
Was I able to? Did I tinker the hover bike enough that I could actually ride it?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So I just get there and I pick up a canister of cheese balls and a Mountain Dew on the way for a treat, and I'm just kind of sitting there like staring out at the river, just like being quiet, just hanging out, enjoying the clubhouse space.
Mm-hmm. And as you're sitting there, you hear some of the rocks kind of tumble off to your left that announces the approach of someone, and you look up and see Shay kind of coming down with the backpack strung across her back.
And I was kind of fumbling for my Swiss Army knife as if I were going to defend myself. And it's kind of embarrassing because I couldn't get it out of my pocket. Oh, hey.
Oh, what's up? What are you doing here?
I'm just hanging out. Just thought I'd get some space from home. Check out this cool hover bike.
Holy balls, that's amazing.
Found it in the woods. I thought it was a regular bike, but then it didn't have wheels and I couldn't find the wheels. And so I just started messing with it anyway. And just like floating and stuff.
That is
Pretty
badass.
cool.
That's awesome. And it works and you rode it here and there was no problem.
Yeah, so far.
Thing. Cool beans.
You can try it if you want.
I would love to try it. But first, I gotta go inside the grotto. I think I need to, I think I might need to tell you about something that happened while you were gone.
Oh, Jack told me about murdering the dinosaurs.
Yeah, but there's more.
That was totally bogus, by the way. I wouldn't do that.
I freaking told him that you would side with us.
He's such a butthole.
He has a butt head, too.
Whatever.
Come here, I gotta show you something.
So, what you got?
But we gotta go around, like, hide. Because I don't want anyone else to see this.
Okay.
To the grotto. Instead of sitting out of the grotto. Okay, so take my backpack off. Gently, gently, gently set it down. Gemma and I found something in the woods as we were leaving the burning remains of the dinosaur barn. And I opened it up and I just let him look inside.
And you see 3 eggs that are about the size of ostrich eggs that have blue and brown spots all over them.
What the heck is that?
Well, they might be dinosaur eggs. There's something inside, like the light, I held it up to a light and I could see something inside that looks slightly lizardy. I don't know anything else about it.
I don't think there are any birds that big around here.
I don't think so either. And they were running, the dinosaurs were running around in the woods and they were just there. So we grabbed
these
them.
are like orphan dinosaur eggs?
Possibly.
What? That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
Can you train dinosaurs?
We don't know. I mean, the guy before he died, you weren't there, but before he died, he said, he trained him pretty well until they just started acting out, I guess. And
that's
open.
I've got, like, my cousin has a pet squirrel that he found, and I mean, it acts fine, and it was wild. So I mean, I guess it's possible. But
I don't know if dinosaurs are like squirrels, but the point is we got the eggs because we knew that the other 2 the buttheads would stomp them, and Gemma and I just couldn't do that. So I had him in my attic in a warm spot, but I don't think that's a good place to keep them for long term. So we got to figure out something to do with these.
And I would say at this point, that's when Gemma kind of starts to wander in.
Oh, hey guys, how are you doing?
Oh, hey, does she know about the eggs?
She helped me find them. Gemma.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that there's a tunnel under the whole city, and there's a cabal of Russian people talking. I don't know. It's a bunch of Russian voices coming from underground in the library. I'll tell you about it later. What's going on?
Does it have to do with the dinosaurs?
You told him?
I thought it was the
right
best
there
decision. And he was here. He was already here. I was going to bring him here because they can't stay in my attic.
Okay. You're going to help us protect them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, shouldn't we like take him to the zoo or something? Like, I don't know anything about taking care of dinosaurs.
Any of us do. We need to put him somewhere safe though for now, and hide him from the other two for now.
Don't they have to like stay warm or something? Like, 'cause I know the chickens at home, you know, the eggs don't hatch if they don't stay warm.
You have chickens? Do you have an incubator?
Yeah. I'm not putting them in my house.
Can we bring it here and hook it up to a generator or something? And
Do we have a generator?
I don't know.
I don't know that. I mean, I think that the incubator I have is like maybe big enough for one of those things. Those things are huge. Like the thing I have only holds like 24 regular eggs.
Yeah.
Gemma, can you do the math on the volume of
Yeah.
chicken eggs versus whatever these are?
You fit an egg and a half in there.
Not exactly spherical, so very poor.
Yeah, I mean I just looking at it, I don't think it's gonna fit, but
It's gonna be tight, but I'm not sure that it has to be kept extra warm. I mean, there's some animals that bury eggs in the sand. There's
yeah, I mean it's kind of stuffy in here all the time anyway. Are there like steam pipes like around?
Not
Like,
in
maybe
here.
from like near or something?
Yeah, not in here. You wouldn't have really good access to them.
I think we could like pile up, like make a mound of dirt and stick them in there. Like, that's what lizards and turtles and stuff do.
Alligators do that too.
Yeah, they're practically dinosaurs.
Well, let's do that for now, and then we can figure out if we need to take them. I mean, obviously we gotta take them somewhere else, but
for sure they're safe here.
from everyone except
Did we ever figure out why they're dinosaurs? Like how they got there? Or we're just rolling with their dinosaurs there now?
Yeah, the guy that was there, that was basically creating them. He was using the DNA from the bones that he was stealing from the museum, and had created this the system basically just to mostly prove that he could do it. But his hope was that he could not only bring this species back, but other extinct species back that had been extinct for some period of time. But this was the process that he was using to do that. Unfortunately, obviously, it got away from him.
I'm sure this won't get away from us though.
no, fine.
Yeah, I guess that's the best we can do is just hide them / incubate them in here.
And then we'll figure out what to do, I think.
Is there stuff like moving in them? Can you tell?
You did see when you held it up to the light, it did move ever so slightly. So yes. Mm-hmm.
Little baby dinosaurs. So cute.
Hey Jenna, did you see my hover bike?
What?
I found it.
Oh my
And
god!
it works. I think it's magnetron.
Wow.
I've never seen one before. I thought it was a regular one.
Don't they register those?
I don't
Is
know.
it like, off their grid?
They haven't got me yet.
That's so cool.
I mean, it was just like out in the woods, like kind of rusty and just sitting there. So I don't think anybody else was using it.
And you just fixed it?
Yeah, I was just messing around with it. It's not a lot different than a tractor, really.
That's amazing. I can't even get a grate out of the ground. That's crazy. Wow.
Oh, I could probably help you with that. Grates are easy.
That's very cool.
We can like take turns riding it and stuff.
Cool. Can you take passengers on it, or is there one person hovercraft?
I don't know. I mean, we could try it. I don't know what the weight limit is on it or anything. But it wasn't like dragging on the way here or anything. So there's probably more room.
Let's go for a ride.
I don't know if it'll hold 3, but
Sure, well, someone can sit on the handlebars. Right?
haven't towed anybody on it yet. But
Let's
we can
try
try
it.
it. Let's try it with 2 first, just to like. I don't want to break it. I just fixed it.
It's not one of those hovercrafts with a sidecar, is it?
Not yet.
That's awesome. Hey, wait, does someone have the time? I can't be late. What time is it? What
Oh,
time
you
is
got you got plenty of time. It's late afternoon at this point.
it? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't ask that. Go ahead.
It's 7:30.
All right. Oh shit.
So I'll fire up the hover bike and try it out with 2 people and see if that works, and then we'll see if we can squeeze 3 people on it. That'll be totally inconspicuous, going like up
Awesome.
Franklin or something.
And this will be a tech program roll for you.
Okay.
But you have that +1 there, so you can add 1 to that die.
Okay. So I just put 1 in bonus dice.
It says use item, and then
Oh.
you should be able to click hover bike.
Oh, and then it does it on its own. Sweet.
Mhm.
There we go. Oh.
All right, so as soon as you get all 3 of you on that bike, it just immediately goes clunk and settles right down on the pavement and begins to tip over.
Like a deflated balloon.
Yeah.
I don't think it
seems to be
can.
the
I don't
limit.
think it can hold 3. But we could probably do 2. Why? Do you want to go somewhere?
I don't know, Shay, do you have somewhere to go? What are you all doing
I
this?
didn't hear you. I
I
didn't
don't
hear
want
you.
to like
Today?
leave anybody here.
I just have to be home by 8, guys. That's it. We can do whatever. What were you
Is that because it gets dark at 8, or like you have to do something?
No,
Is it just because that's when it's dark, or?
I gotta be home. Remember? Do you remember that call? The call that we had, that my dad got the other night? The phone call? I think they're watching me. So
What? What are you talking about?
there
Jack
was a
doesn't tell
phone-
me anything.
Obvious. He doesn't know this. There was a phone call that I overheard at my house with my dad, and it sounded, long story short, it sounded like they were watching me because they asked about, my truancy and all this other bullshit. So
They who? Like
I
Unspool?
don't know. That's the point. I star 69 that call, and nothing came back. It was busy.
Maybe they were just on the phone.
And you don't know what star 69 is, by the way, so that probably just makes you giggle.
Like, what'd you dial?
Shut up. You said 69. The point is,
I only know what the phone means, so I just
We still have a rotary phone. I don't know what that is.
Right.
point is, it sounds like they're watching me or something.
Like
No.
somebody's spying on you, like all the time.
The guy he had a deep voice. He sounded like, he knew something about my mom. He asked about my dad, if we were doing okay. He asked if I was doing okay. And then he asked about my truancy. So I don't know what it is, but I think I just have to
So
watch out.
your dad didn't know who he
No.
your dad acted like
no.
it was totally normal. Like,
Yeah.
He took the
Like your
phone
dad,
call.
like he talked to him before.
It was like he was just doing a routine check-in or something.
That's weird.
Which I'd never heard it. I'd never heard that before. So, I don't know. Point is, we can stand around here and talk about it all day, or we could, hover bike somewhere, and we'll find a rope, and I will skateboard alongside you guys.
Yeah, I could probably pull you. That'd be
Let's do
pretty
that.
easy.
Like that.
What was this great thing you were talking about? You said you had a great something, Gemma?
Yeah, that's at the library. That's gonna require some more planning to get in there, because I think Jim might have already locked up the building by now. But there's a secret passage under the library that dates back from way back when. And it could be, I've got a whole bunch of plans, and I like pull them out of my backpack and spread them all over the whole grotto. They're everywhere. Like you can see here that you can go from the city all the way up to Indianapolis, or you can go down toward where the expressway is now, and then it goes a little further down into the ground than you would expect it to go. So there's something going on there, and there's probably a big underground meeting chamber for these Russians. And then there's like we have to go. We have to,
Russians,
yes.
Very
Listen,
lead
like
there.
Red October.
listen. And I hope my batteries are still okay on this little tape recorder that I've got. But I want to play the recording for you so you can hear the voices that I can hear in the walls at Willard. I mean, they're not in the walls actually. Like, the voices are coming through from somewhere. Anyway, I can play them for you as long as my batteries have not run out yet. They should be.
Russians in the walls at Willard, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So, but you don't want to go there now. Where are we going now?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we could go to the Russian Orthodox Church on the east side. If
Why
you
would we
want
do? Why? Why would we do that?
to find somebody who knows what the Russian words on the tape recorder mean? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Are you gonna play the tape for us? Play the tape.
Yeah.
All right, so she plays the tape for you.
What does it sound like?
Yeah. What is it?
And it is a succession of kind of staccato-like words that are in certainly a foreign language that you don't recognize. Now, after she said that it was Russian, and the few movies that you have seen where people have been speaking, in Russian or with a Russian accent or what have you, yeah, you could maybe make that connection potentially. But obviously, since you don't speak Russian, you don't know what it says. But it's weird. It's rather monotone, and just a little on the creepy side. And it lasts for about, what do we say, about 2 minutes or so? Is what you caught?
I don't remember.
Mhm.
Sure. I believe you.
It wasn't very long, I know that.
Okay.
So yeah, about 2 or 3 minutes tops.
I mean, you guys saw Red Dawn, right? It sounds just like that.
you think it's like there's like a spy headquarters or something?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it could be. I mean, we have all of the DARPA, the government agencies here.
Yeah, there might be Russian spies.
It could be Russian.
That makes
spies.
total sense.
I think it makes total sense.
So, I mean, I'm cool as long as the hoverbike holds out. We can go. I don't know how much juice it has. I don't really know how it works yet.
Should we just take the bus out there then?
We can always take the bus if it breaks down.
Yeah, but then you might lose your hover bike.
I'll stash it somewhere.
But are we sure we want to play what we think is some sort of spy code or something in Russian to these Russian Orthodox people?
Because maybe they're spies too.
I mean, no offense to the Russian Orthodox Church. We
Yeah, I
don't know.
don't-
It's teeming with spies.
Teaming with Russians.
I don't want to profile them or
That is
anything.
it's the 80s. We didn't know better. So I just want to put that out.
You can say all kinds of inappropriate stuff.
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s. We didn't know any better.
We didn't know better.
What else could there be?
It could always get worse.
I say we give it a shot.
Okay.
Well, it's either that or we check out Wesselman Park and see if we can find where those tunnels end in the dry creek beds. But we don't have any really heavy machinery to like dig into the
Jackhammer or something.
network.
I mean, I've got my
church.
pocket knife and stuff, but I don't think that's getting us anywhere.
That might get us into the grate at Willard, but it seems like it might be a tight squeeze into that duct.
So Russian church?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. And we're off.
All right, cool. So you guys head off to the east side and come across this this small, quaint little church. At this point, it's in the afternoon, so most everybody pretty much is gone. But the custodian is there inside the church working, and you can kind of see through the windows at the front next to the main door entrance, you know, that he's inside with a vacuum cleaner and vacuuming up in the lobby there of the church.
Not at all sinister.
Dude vacuuming. Knock on the
Should
door.
we ask him if he understands what's on the tape? I mean, we could bang on the glass and see if he'll come let us in, I guess.
That's why we're here, right?
Do it.
Seems friendly enough.
Who's got some charm?
Not me.
Where's Corey when we need?
He's grounded.
Nope, I've got 0 charm.
Tell him it's for a homework assignment.
Okay.
That's our standard. It's for a project at school.
We're doing a report on Russian language, and I don't know. And hope he's not the one who recorded it or something.
Right.
All right, so you knock on the door.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of looks up. He's a little startled to see somebody there, and he looks at you and he goes. And he kind of shrugs a little bit.
Here.
Okay, so he comes over to the door and he unlocks it and he says, "What do you children want?"
Do you speak Russian?
Of course I speak Russian, yes. This is Russian church. I speak Russian, yes.
We have a homework assignment we're working on about Russia, and we just thought we maybe would ask you some questions and see if you could help translate something for us.
I don't know. I'm very busy. I have to finish cleaning.
It's just a really short recording that we're just curious what it translated to in English.
Let's see, heart charm. I think Shay's got the better heart charm there.
Not very much.
Yeah, you do. You got 5. And since Billy Joe is also chiming in, you can consider that helping you. So that adds an extra die to your roll if you so desire. And if Billy Joe is okay to accept any consequences that might come along with that if you fail.
I think I'm along for the ride either way.
Okay.
So I'm rolling. Ooh, I only got
There you
one
go.
out of
That's all right. That's all you need.
Okay.
Well, okay. That's fine. You children come in. I help you if I can. So he leads you inside the lobby there, and there's a couple of benches kind of on either side of the lobby that look like they might have been old benches from the sanctuary that they pulled out. He says, "You sit. What is this project you tell me of?"
Gemma?
Well, in listening to the language tapes, I only know Dobry večer, which is good afternoon, or something like that. So I try to say that, and hopefully that endears me to him. And it doesn't.
No.
He's like, "You insult my language. Goodbye."
No.
You said something about puppy dog. I do not understand.
See, we need a lot of help with our assignment. We're just terrible at this. Gemma, play in the tape.
Okay. So I'll pull out the tape recorder and press play.
And he sits and he listens to it, and when it completes, he just looks up at you and he says, What is this? This is nonsense."
But can you tell us what the words are?
It is Russian. Yes, I can tell you what words mean, but it makes no sense. It's just random words that don't make no sense.
So it's not a sentence, it's just random words, one after another?
Da, yeah. You run it back to beginning. I tell you.
And I press play again.
Okay. This is highway. Employ.
I'm writing this down. I don't have a pen.
I'm writing it down in my little notebook.
Okay. All right. Do you need me to start over again?
Yes.
Highway.
Highway. Employ. Bench. Shed. This one is difficult. Execution. Culture. This is voyage or trip. Voyage. Accumulate. Twilight. Guarantee. Lock. Remember. School. Lung. And die. And then it repeats this several times.
Okay, what the heck could that possibly be?
It is, how you say, very weird. I do not understand. This is a project you're working on for school?
Oh yeah, we just had to find someone to help us translate, and we have.
I think they're just vocabulary words.
I think, yeah,
Oh,
for a Russian class.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that makes a little more sense.
Thank you for
So,
Is this
Thank you.
teacher on tape?
I guess so. They just gave us the tape. He didn't say who it was.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Anatoly. You need more help. I'm always here on Sunday afternoons. You seem like nice children. I'm happy to help you if you need more help.
Thanks.
thanks.
Thanks, Anatoly.
Would you like a cookie?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like.
All right, he takes you into the kitchen.
The 80s, so you just take food from straight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Take food. Yeah.
There aren't razor blades in it.
Takes you to the kitchen, and he's got some oatmeal cookies in there left over from the social time after church, and gives you guys like a whole Tupperware thing full of it. You bring Tupperware back, but you take. It's okay.
Oh yeah, we'll bring it back.
Thanks.
Maybe next Sunday.
Oh, okay, I'll be here same time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
I think we leave.
Okay.
Oh, that guy's pretty cool for a
Sure,
Russian.
no, our cheeks are stuffed with cookies.
So
Thank you very much.
Holy crap.
it's just random words.
That's wild. What does that mean?
I think it's like a code.
Right? Some of those words were pretty wild. I mean, it was like very benign word, and then like death or execute, and
Ah,
school. School execute. Wait a minute. Are they out of order? Or holy shit.
Hmm.
Where did you get this tape from? Where was the sound coming from? You said under the library or in the walls or something?
yeah. I was in Willard Library. If I remember right, I was under the staircase in the children's section. There's a little nook that's under the staircase, and it must be connected to some ducts that possibly connect to the whole of, downtown Evansville. But maybe some meeting room or some secret chamber or something. I don't know. It's really weird, but I was pressing record and just getting it right as I heard it. But I didn't know what it meant. I don't know.
So you've heard all that before? Like before you recorded it?
It might be different words. I mean, I have to go back now and see if I can record some more to see if it's still the same set of words over and over again, or if it changes. Because that I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely weird.
I don't know why it repeats. That seems interesting to me, that it just circles back and says the same thing again, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fact if it's repeating, it makes me think that it's like some a message meant to be heard by somebody else, like like an SOS transmission or a message to somebody that they want to make sure that they get.
Yes, or a message from the past or the future.
Yeah, or that.
Sure, why not? We
Could
got
be
that.
that. Could be from the past, I guess. So there's no way we can get to the library now. Like your boss left.
Well, we could. Sometimes the
You have
basement
keys?
door. Sometimes the basement door is propped open just a little bit, like it doesn't quite latch when it closes, so I can get in. don't remember if we decided if I have keys.
You don't have keys to be able to get in on your own without supervision, no. I mean, unless you stole them, but we did not discuss that. So yeah.
That sounds like next week's episode.
Next time on Tales from the Loop.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a
Now
job
that
for me.
Shay and I are best.
So are we gonna try to go to the basement?
Maybe we could see if it's open. We're not that far.
I guess so. I mean,
We're on the other side of town, but
today's probably the best day unless we wait until next week. Unless they're closed on Monday too. I can't remember all of a sudden.
No, they're open on Monday.
They're open on Monday. So yeah, it'll be busy again. So we either do it today or we wait until next week.
I mean, I figure while we're out and while we've got all this new information, we might as well at least see if the door's open or see if, there's an easier way to get in. Is there like an alarm system or something?
Shh.
Not yet.
I mean, I don't know.
There's no ghost cams either yet, right?
Yeah, no ghost cams yet.
Yet.
They do have them now. I think they still run.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you can go online right now and check it out.
Stare at the basement for a while. I say we go to the basement.
Okay.
All right, we're heading back to Willard.
Okay. All right. So you guys get back to Willard, and there is there is a side entrance where the steps kind of lead down. You've got the main door at the front entrance, and you go around the side of the building, the right-hand side of the building, and there's like a little archway that leads down underneath that you can kind of check that door to see whether or not it's open or not. Now, the original door that would have been here was a much different type than what you have here now, and you would think that the newer quote unquote modern door would be more difficult to bypass. It's actually easier. But in this case, sometimes, like you say, it gets caught, and you can get in after hours. In this instance, it actually is closed and latched. Shay, though, you are very familiar with this type of door because it is the same doors that are at your old school that is now closed, that you'd like to kind of sneak into every once in a while, and that's the old Washington school on Washington Avenue. So you're familiar with these type of doors, and really all you need is something that's like a credit card to be able to slip inside that door and slide it down, and then open it up that way, and you should be able to get in.
Gemma, give me your library card.
I don't want to mess up my library card. Can you use my Panopticon Elementary Middle School?
Fine.
Okay. I'll hand that over.
School ID.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I rolling for this?
All right, so that is going to be I think body sneak.
Sweet.
There you go. Got a success there. All right. It's a little more difficult with this type of card because this is basically just a laminated piece of paper. But with a little bit of difficulty, you're able to slide it in there and push the latch back just far enough to pop the door open. So you're able to get it open. And there's no alarm. They don't have a good solid alarm system in here yet. It's still early 80s, and they haven't really invested in that. They're just counting that people aren't going to want to break into a library. Now that front door, there's no way to get that thing open without the proper tools, for sure. It's a deadbolt lock.
Into the basement we go.
Okay. All right, so you guys hop down there, and Gemma, you can show them right where that grate is. And Billy Joe, you probably are going to want to kind of take a good close look at it. And at the framework that's around there, as stated before, the framework is screwed into the tile floor down there in the basement. And it's definitely an older type of screw that's screwing those things in. You would need the proper tools to basically take that apart. And it's been in there for so long, the things are probably rusted over, and you would probably need some sort of electrical equipment to be able to pop them, or maybe even sawzall, something like that, to cut them to get that open. But even at that, that's probably not going to open the grate itself. The grate itself is solid, but it's got engravings on it, that are kind of an Art Deco-y style. But there are a few little holes here and there, and whether that's from wear or from the original design of it, it's kind of hard to tell because it's been stepped on so much and worn. It's you don't know if it's just wear and tear or just the design. But they're not big enough to get a finger down into or anything like that. But potentially, you might be able to figure out a way to pry this up. It's a matter of kind of looking around for the right thing to do that with.
Is this something where I could take the can opener thing on my Swiss Army knife and kind of get it in there and use it as a hook to kind of try to pull on it? Or
yeah, that's a possibility. Sure. Yeah.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to do a combination roll here. Well, actually, I think just actually probably body force, I think, is all that you're going to need to do, because you've already kind of come up with the tool necessary.
And then if I use the knife, I get the bonus, right? The Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Okay. So that's 2 successes there. The 1 success will be enough to get that open far enough to where you can lift it. And let's see here. Suppress. All right. So if you ever need to get into this grate again or out of it, you don't need to roll for this again.
Okay, so I figured it out well enough that I can remember how it works.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
Okay, so you pop it open, and when this happens, you're just kind of hit with just this stale air that just wafts out of this area, and it's pitch black down there. It's dark here in the basement just in general, but I mean, in this grate, there's not enough light to be cast down to really see, past the length of your arm. I mean, you can stick your arm down there and you can't see the tips of your fingers.
Does anybody have a flashlight? Or is there a flashlight in is there an emergency kit or something?
Yeah, I have a flashlight. Just a second. I think I left it in the little nook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine.
Nook.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The book nook.
Yeah. So run back and I'll grab it and I'll run back.
All right, and this is one of those old style flashlights. It's metal, the shaft is completely metal, and it's got the little clicker on there. So you shine that down in that area, and I mean, it just cuts through cobwebs. And I mean, you see like spiders that just go and like crawl away from it. There does not seem to be anywhere like close by that you can see that looks like there's a ladder or anything like that to be able to just climb down. Cutting through, it looks like there is floor down there, but it's difficult to judge the distance.
I mean, are we going to try to go down there?
Do we hear we don't hear the voices?
Not right now.
It doesn't really smell like anything's been down there for a while.
And then
Yeah,
the
Like,
It's musty.
yeah, and the spider piano player stopped playing and looked. So I don't know.
But this is where the sound came from?
No, I wouldn't say that. But I feel like everything is probably connected under the under the building and behind the walls and everything. Like in your body where there's a space between the organs, like I feel like that must be what's happening. Like it's coming from somewhere and this might be a passageway there. But if the cobwebs are looking like this, obviously nobody's coming and going, right? Unless
not through here.
Unless
I
they've
mean,
taken
maybe.
the
Can
spider.
we just go into the sewer system outside, like through the manhole or something? Or isn't there like a, place where Pennywise would be hiding out in the drainage or something?
Is there like a broom or something we can like try to get rid of some of the cobwebs so we can get a better look?
The custodial closet is literally just right to your right.
Oh, well, I'll try to find something appropriate, like a push broom or something to stick down in there and just like swirl up the cobwebs.
Yeah, plenty of brooms and mops and stuff
Can
in
you
there.
grab a little can of some sort of cleaner or something small?
For dropping.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop it. Want to hear it? Want to see if there's a swoosh or a, I don't know, thud.
Okay. Here you go. There's a can of Comet.
Is it Comet?
Yeah.
Okay. Comet in the hole.
All right, so you drop it, and it takes a second, to get down there. Our science person is probably Gemma, right? So if you want to roll a calculate.
A what? Oh.
Calculate.
Maybe I'm not the science person.
You're the smartest.
What am I calculating?
The distance of about how far down that is.
Okay, I'll use my notebook and pen to do little hash marks like 1,000, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So does that give me an extra bonus
Sure.
point?
Yeah. It gives you 2 because that's your iconic item.
Okay.
So you just click on calculate, and then it'll say use item, and then you just click on iconic item, and then it'll roll that for you. Failure. All right. From what you can tell, you should be able to just hop down there, and it's maybe about 6 feet. It shouldn't hurt to jump.
We going in there?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I'll go first if no one else wants to go first.
Is it big enough for us, like, what is the size of this? Like, if we were all going in there and trying to go somewhere, does it seem like it's a passageway, like an actual walk down a hallway, or is it like a crouch or a crawl? Or
when you dropped that, you heard an echo. So it does seem to be, the walls are at least big enough to cause an echo, and I mean it was a fairly boom, 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 boom. So I mean, yeah, it's a big area.
Okay.
Or seems like it anyway.
All right, give me the flashlight, and I'll go down there first because I'm an idiot.
All right, how are you going down?
I'm gonna put my legs down in the hole, and I'm gonna shimmy to the edge and grab onto the edge of it and just drop.
And just drop. Okay.
Can we take the hovercraft?
As you are hanging down, I mean, do you basically just hang and then let go, or do you lower yourself down and just immediately drop?
Then I do a flip and land superhero.
And like this.
Yeah. I think I just stopped.
Just going for it. Okay.
Well, can I grab her wrist?
No.
No, too late now. Do a body move.
Nugget. Okay. Oh, thank God.
Hey, there you go. Okay. And you got 2 successes, so that actually gives you a little something extra.
So I do superhero landing after a flip, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, you definitely can do
No,
that.
no.
You can give a bonus die to another kid. How many did you get? Did you get 2 or 3?
2.
2. Okay. So you can give a bonus dice to another kid if you want. Or you can impress someone. Or
Spiders, how you doing?
or nobody notices you. So, I mean, if you want to pass that on to somebody else, you certainly can. Now, the one thing, though, that is a little surprising to you is Gemma was basically like, it's like 6 feet. It's more like 12.
Oh, fudge.
So, but
Okay.
you're not hurt. You succeeded. But that was a lot further down than what you thought. So,
You suck at math.
so yes, they need to be careful coming down, without a doubt.
I have the flashlight, right?
Do you want to go next? Do you
Guys,
want me to go next?
Wait a minute. You want me to look around, or are you just coming down?
Well, is there any way for you to get back up?
No.
Well, not that
I
you can see, yeah.
Yet.
we should probably stick together, I think.
Guys, it's a lot further. All right. Let me move out of the way. I'm moving out of the way. Scooting back.
Do you want to go next?
I can go next, but how do I get back out?
I don't know.
We live here now. We work in this now, so.
We're the voices in the walls now, Gemma.
There
This is
was
just how it works.
That's a good quote. I like that.
Episode
Billy,
time.
why don't you come down and
We're the voices in the walls, Gemma.
I like that. That's spooky, man.
Been waiting for you.
All right. Well, if I gently drape myself down into the hole, and Shay reaches up and grabs my legs.
Nope. It's 12
Come
feet. 12 feet.
Are you giving one of your successes to either one of these 2 jokers?
Yeah, I guess I should give it to her.
Maybe,
My
Gemma.
move, yeah, because my move score is 0. not
Yep.
And what you can do, I think, Billy Joe, to kind of help out is if you take her arms and help lower her down, then that would certainly certainly
Yeah,
help. And then,
I can do that.
Yeah. But then you'll
Alright.
be kind of on your own to make the jump yourself.
Yeah, my skills in that area are pretty decent. So.
Mhm.
Okay,
Alright.
I'll like try to help extend that for Gemma as much as possible.
And then all you have to do then is roll for yourself then.
No.
And Billy Joe breaks his ankle. Is that move?
Yeah, it should be body move. Yeah.
Okay.
That looked like you just rolled like 3 dice though.
Oh, I
was
didn't
Gemma.
see any.
That was me. I
Oh, it was
rolled,
Gemma. Oh, okay.
and I added one because I was
You-
being helped.
Yeah,
I don't-
you didn't have to because she gave you a success. You didn't even
Oh,
have to roll.
Oh,
So
I'm
you're
sorry.
okay. Yeah. You're
Okay,
okay.
so here it goes.
Oh,
And that was a failure.
Oh, no.
I
So
think I
you
would
can
go-
either take a condition, or you can either use a luck point and re-roll, or you can do a push roll. But that would basically say take a condition. So
I'll take a condition.
mhm. All right. So you can just take a condition and just be hurt
Yeah. Can I take upset?
or upset. Yeah, sure.
Like,
Mhm.
because it's in front of a couple of girls. I'm pretty embarrassed.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we both did superhero landings.
Yeah, and I just
so
tumble
you-
out of there.
Yeah, just jump down and just immediately, like, almost fully face plant. Jimmy,
Meant to
you
do
got
that.
the flashlight, right? Or no, Shay does. Shay's got the
I'll take
flashlight.
it with me.
All right, so as you're kind of poking around down here, this is a rather kind of cavernous space. And it looks like it was another storage space at one time for the library. And there are shelving units down here that are all made out of wood. And a lot of them have wooden boxes on the shelves in various states of decay. But you can tell that there are a lot of old, dusty, musty old books down here that date back to probably the 1700s. Just in a cursory kind of glance, picking some of them up and kind of taking a look at them. There's a lot of old books here. But more than anything, I mean, Gemma, that certainly interests you, without a doubt. But Shay, with the flashlight, you're kind of scanning the whole room, and you see that in between some of these shelving units, there is an opening. It looks like a doorway of some sort, but it runs from basically floor to ceiling. In here, so it's just a cutout in the stone work that is behind the shelving units down here. And again, cobwebs and spider webs just all over the place. I mean, there's critters galore. There's mice down here, rats. You hear the skittering, of the mice and rats kind of running away from you as you guys make your appearance down there. And there's droppings all over the place. I mean, it's pretty nasty down here. A lot of those books have been damaged beyond repair. They've been chewed. A lot of them are wet or molded or what have you. So they're not in great shape. But there might be a few down here that might be salvageable. But I think Shay's attention is now really more drawn to that dark.
Yeah, I'm going to the dark too.
Yeah. So you get closer to that entrance there, and you shine your light down, and it goes, as far as the light will reach, which is probably, maybe about 10 to 12 feet, potentially. And it just is dark. But there is a passage here. And
I could see like a wall, like it's a hallway.
Yeah. And it is like not bricks, but like layered stone. And taking into account where you are and a lot of the homes that were built in the area, especially in the 1940s and 1950s, you recognize this as probably like a Bedford stone. That stone has a certain quality when light hits it that it does actually kind of reflect a little bit. There's just enough of like a crystalline kind of quality within that stone. So when you do shine the light down there, I mean, it gets a little bit of a bounce where the hallway kind of lights up when you shine it down there. But it only lights up so far, so you can't see the end of this.
Hey, come on. Let's go in the tunnel.
Is this the only like obvious way out of where we are now, besides the way we came in?
Besides the way you came in, yeah. Now, those shelving units that are down here, truthfully, a lot of them are very tall, and there is a ladder down here. It would not reach up all the way to the grate where you guys came down, but if you used some of the shelving units and pushed that over there, potentially you should be able to get out okay. Did you leave the grate open?
Yeah, I think I would have had to.
Okay.
I was just thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Guys, what time is it? I don't mean to realize. What time is it?
It's about 6 o'clock.
Okay. Shit. I'm going down the hallway.
I like how in the same breath you were worried about getting home late and then like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm going down the hallway. It's perfectly something Shay would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what time is it? Fuck it.
We got 2 hours. We're stuck down here for now.
And totally something that I would have done at that age as well.
Yeah, let's check it out. At least for a few feet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys.
When you turn around and say, "Hey guys, come here," I'm right behind you. You have the flashlight.
Like bump right into you.
Yes.
Probably have the light like this, and it probably reflects on your face and makes you look super scary. Awesome.
Gemma, do a calculate for me. Okay, you got a success there. What's your comprehend?
It's pretty good.
Is it better than that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Since you did roll a success, I'll let that count, but just out of curiosity's sake, go ahead and roll the comprehend for me. Let's see how you do there.
Also,
And one success there too. Okay, all right. The direction in which you're heading from the library here is you are moving pretty much due south.
Okay.
Which would put you heading towards downtown.
Toward the balloons, among other things.
Mm.
Also, is that also toward where the underground cuts lower than expected?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
so essentially you are moving in the direction of where Lloyd Expressway is.
So I'll share that information for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you guys proceed down that hallway, and it is just a long, straight shot, pretty much, that then suddenly begins to, well, I say suddenly, but ever so gradually begins to veer off slightly to the right, so kind of southwest. All right. But it's a gradual pitch that begins to curve here. This whole area, there's nothing else that shoots off anywhere else in this particular area. And then you feel yourself ever so slightly beginning to kind of grade down just a little bit. And you will eventually come to an area here that ends in a large iron door.
Is there a lock on it? Is there a door handle or a thing?
It is old, rusty, and it's got a bit of a greenish patina to it. And yeah, I mean, there's a keyhole there, but it's one of those old-fashioned keyholes, you know, that it has the circle on top and kind of connected to a triangle at the bottom, right? And it's inside a big, like 8-inch tall, 4-inch wide plate. And instead of a door handle that you turn, I mean, it's like a big, like crook handle.
Want to have a skeleton key?
I wish.
You're a doormat.
A doormat? Go away. What does it say? Go away or welcome.
I'm a latchkey.
Is it a solid door or like a gate almost?
It's a solid door, yeah. Yeah, you can't see through it at all. It's definitely solid.
I'm gonna go knock on it.
All right, so you knock, boom, 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 and it echoes and reverberates throughout the cavern there. And there's no noise coming from the other side.
Is there any way that I could try to just tinker with the lock a little bit just to see if it's open or it could be opened? Or
yeah, you could certainly. And you get down kind of on your knees, I guess, probably maybe using your knife, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. You stick the knife in there, and like I said, that noise kind of reverberated through the whole cavern there. And as that settles down, and Jack gets on his knees and he starts kind of poking around into the lock there, you hear. Someone whispered, "Did you hear that?"
Did you guys hear that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that.
Bring back and forth.
And that's where I'll call it for tonight.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay.
All right.
Well, good game, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right,
everybody.
that
Good
was
to see
fun.
everybody again.
Yay, welcome back.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.
See ya.
Night.